Hi, this is Adekyn with another Grand Ages Rome campaign mission video. This one is the Battle of Actium. This one was a request from a YouTube user. Our objective is to destroy all of Antony's camps, and bonus objectives are to destroy at least 15 enemy ships, and we have to win the mission without losing a squad. We're going to play this with a vanilla character that has no talents and no estate, so it's going to be a little more of a challenge, but it also means that whatever we do here that works will certainly work for any of your well-developed characters. So basically we're queuing up research and fixing all our crime, but that was a pretty easy fix. You just get that mill going. So I decided to go ahead and just build an inn right off the bat. You start with a forum in this one. So I'm adding a grape farm so that I can add some entertainment, with the inn and tavern. I like to do Butcher, Baker, Inn, Tavern. And we're going to have our Terrari go up and capture the couple of trade posts that are out there. So now we kind of have our start queued up. Let's take a look at the map. There's a couple of trade routes on our side. There's two big land masses. We're on one. The rest of the enemies on the other. There are a couple of enemies on our side. There are four on that big land mass, and there's one out on that island. We're going to build the three spots where I'm circling here. Our starting point over here where we are looking right now to capture the gold and iron that's over there, and then up at that kind of, let's call it the northern spot, to get some stone and iron, more iron, and some marble. So that'll allow us to build more temples and get our income going up. So our strategy is going to be to use equestry for this one because we have to move all over the place, and we're going to use a combination of towers and equestry primarily to attack this. And obviously, like any good mission in Grand Ages Rome, you could do this multiple ways. But we're going to basically just do the building we need to do. Didn't feel like building a giant city here, so we're just going to kind of do the building we need to support what we're trying to get done, and to give us a big army. Then we'll just go out and finish off the mission with the army. But I can tell you that if you haven't tried this one before, winning without losing the squad can be a challenge. You've got to watch what you do, and you'll see as we do some of these battles. So here we fast forward a little bit, and we've already picked up the trade routes, and you can see up there's a couple of, we're getting our first attack from up there to way up in the north on our side, and it turns out there's a couple of troops there, a Stati squad and a Ballista squad. So now we're just kind of building out our second community over here, and we're trying to work through all the issues with the food and making sure we upgrade the baker and butcher so that we have that overproduction of bread and sausages, so we can do the inn and tavern combo. So we got butcher, baker, inn, tavern going. We'll basically build two there where you see one kind of where we started and one down here in this spot, and that'll get us going. And then we'll use that kind of this. So we've got an L shape, and in the corner of the L we'll put our temples, and that way we'll get the maximum advantage from them. And because research, I need to get that research going. So building another school to just get the research bumped up a little bit. So basically, and here's another key to this particular mission. If you don't put this water in, when you inherit a map, you got to really watch to see what the problems are. And in this one, there was a zero hygiene, which means nobody's got any water. So you kind of want to get that up to that 80 as fast as you can to avoid the plague. And you really would like to have it eventually, if you've stayed long enough, you'd want it at 100. Through the original, you'd put in herbalist shops. In the expansion, maybe you just build out one hospital, which is like putting a herbalist shop everywhere. But now you can see up here to the north, we've built this outpost, and that allows us to build up here. So what we're going to do is put in a fort, and you'll notice it's kind of up away from that trading post. The reason you want to do that is if you get it too close to the trading post, so if he comes down and attacks your fort, he's actually going to capture that trade route, and then you're going to have to send a troop back up there. So if your plan is to have a fort guard a choke point, make sure it's up far enough away from your trading route so that you don't have to keep going up there and recapturing the trade post. And now we're doing a leapfrog with the lumber and then going over to the slave camp to allow us to pick up stone and iron, and then we leapfrog again up on that hill to pick up the marble. So now with the marble, it gives us a lot of opportunities to build. And now we fast forwarded some more, and now we're in our first battle. We're actually being invaded now from the sea. They've brought troops in. There's 2 Hastati, 2 archers, and then you can see the remnants of that attack that's up there on our fort. So what we're doing is basically we've got right now at this point Triarii and 3 Equestri drafted up. So we're using our original Triarii as basically a human shield or a human fort. They're in their turtle formation. They're absorbing lots of punishment, but they're hanging in there because it's a heavy infantry unit. And they're basically, their job is just to block everything while our Equestri go in and try to finish people off. So we're really outnumbered here. And if you noticed, the enemy has come in with 4 more troops. So here we're really outnumbered. There's basically 8 squads fighting our 4. But by having that Triarii block, and then by making sure that we get our Equestri on top of his archers, because they can just take care of the archers very quickly, then we can go get the Hastati and not have too much trouble. So I'm just going to kind of try to keep as steady a flow of Equestri in here as I can, but you really have to watch and remember we can't lose any squads if we want our bonus. So basically I'm just pulling the Equestri back and letting his Hastati kind of chase them. Then I'm going to run up here and attack the archers and leave my healthiest Equestri off to kind of hold off the Hastati as best I can. And those poor Triarii are really the ones taking the brunt of it because they've got 2 Hastati groups beating up on them. And you can see the health is starting to drop here. But we've fought off quite a few enemy here already. So we've got our fort working on one end. We've got our troops kind of taking care of this other end. And we'll just fight our way through this battle. And we'll have to actually kind of dance around a little bit as that we've got 1 Equestri and 1 Triarii that's getting pretty weak. So at some point we'll actually start dancing them around and moving them away and letting the other troops finish them off. So you can see I'm in the red now with that Triarii, and that's dangerous. You got to watch that if you don't want to lose troops. But I will tell you, we did manage to escape and not lose anybody, and that was good. And now we've moved forward some more to where we've actually got an army. We've already sent those ones that are that control group 2 up, and they've kind of cleaned out our side. So once we got an adequate number of troops so that we could have a defense, we sent out a large group of our troops, and we used the Equestri because they're fast, and this is why, because here we go, here comes another invasion. So we finished off up there, but now we're going to use that ability to move very, very quickly to allow our Equestri to hustle back here and help us with our defense. And I think the only thing here, I don't believe, and I'm not certain about this, but I don't believe that the special ability for the Equestri, I think you have to queue them up one at a time the way I did there. I tried to do them as a group, and it doesn't seem to take. So that's one thing. Now, Hastati, you can have 3 Hastati or 4 and have them all do a pylon attack simultaneously with one command. But the Equestri has to be done individually, which is a bit of a pain, but anyway, it works. So these guys over here are hustling back. The Group 2 are hustling back to help us, so we'll be able to fight these guys off with our troops. So now we're fast forwarding a little bit more, and we're going to go ahead and expand out and build out an area up here. And the main reason we're building this area is just to get a shipyard. So we've targeted shipyard with our research. By the way, on this one, very important that you get prefecture out early. Cover up prefecture on your early builds, or you're going to be hurting for building materials. So make sure you get prefecture, and then of course target shipyard once you get some good mining and farming upgrades. So you really want to target your prefecture, then your technology branch. So here we're setting up a shipyard, and of course a carpenter shop has to be in range of it so that they can build the ships. And so we're just working through, our problems with bread and stuff. And I had a little brain cramp here. I kept thinking I was low on wheat or on pigs, but it actually turned out I just failed to put a bakery up there, because when I first built it, I didn't have enough to build both a butcher and baker. But I did have enough meat to do the butcher, so I put it up there to feed everybody, and I just forgot the bakery. So finally, it dawns on me I haven't built a bakery, and in a minute you'll see I put one up here, and everything's cool. So now we have a good size army. Invasions are not a problem. We've cleaned out our side of the map, if you will. So what we still remains to us is go out and clean out the other side plus that island, and now we've got to get our navy going, because we've got to move our troops over, and we also have our bonus objective to get rid of 15 enemy ships. So what I'm doing here is setting up the rally point for the shipyard, and we're going to start shuttling our equestri over to do our invasion of the other side. And now with kind of the finishing touches on defense to allow us to let some of our troops go into offensive mode, we're going to build this nice big fort here that's almost rectangular. Our architects, I think, were a little drunk when they built this one, but this should finish off all the threats of those invasions, because now you've got a nice big fort that they're going to run into. Plus, we're going to leave some troops behind in case we need them for cleanup. So we should be in great shape now. We've got, once we get that bakery, here it comes finally. I punched in, and we've got the bakery going. We've got our shipyard going, pumping out ships, and then we'll just start the shuttle process of shuttling these equestri. We're actually going to use that number 2 group to do all our fighting over in the other landmass. So there you go. You can see all the crime except that one going. He needs a job, so we'll put him in a tavern, and now we'll have butcher, baker, and tavern in this area, in this community as well. So the entertainment will be good. And I do recommend you get your entertainment up when you do this, because you want to be able to hit that forum tax, because you're going to need the money up front. So now we fast forwarded a little bit more, and we're actually starting in the middle of that shuttle process where we're moving the troops over. If you know it's clear, it's safe to just go ahead and do them, one at a time. I actually started this process as soon as the first ship got over there so that I could speed things up. So you just kind of shuttle them over and get them all loaded up. Once you get all that group over there, then you can start the attacks, and we'll just start attacking, work our way around that landmass, and then simultaneously we'll be taking all the ships that are left over and attacking ships till we get 15 killed. And so we've done that. Now we've actually fast forwarded. We've finished. I didn't want to bore you with all those fights, but we've taken out that landmass, and now you can see we're going to move our entire group with all that group 9 of ships actually holds our group 2 of equestri. So we're going to move them over that final island. We're just going to set up a little naval blockade there in that little area. And here we fast forward, and you can see that we've now done the invasion. We've moved over, and we've got our equestri coming down on that last group. When this is over, the mission will be over, and we will have won with a nice gold medal, and we've gotten all our bonuses. So I didn't do a lot of extra building. I didn't bother to build all the cool buildings that you could. There's plenty of room to build. I would advise you, if you're pretty new to the game, don't try to build too much on this one, because there's a lot going on. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it helps.